Hi.
So we're going to talk about something that started Saturday night really, and it's now a week later, and it continued on for several days afterwards. So I went to a speed dating event. I was invited to help with a speed dating event, and what was your concern about me going to that event?
Right. My concern was that you would go, even though you weren't signed up for the event, you were going as an extra person, and that you would sit here and do all of these dates with these women, these speed dates with these women, and you would connect with some of them and come home and have 5 new girlfriends.
Okay. And so I went to the event, and I didn't actually end up doing the dates at the event. I was there sort of as a logistics support, checking people in, whatever. But I came home, and I did tell you about a particular person that I'd met at the event. What do you remember about what I said?
What I remember you saying was we were talking about an event that we're going to do here on our land, and you said, "Oh, we should invite so and so. She'd be great in our event." And maybe you said something like, "Oh yeah, she's cute." I don't even remember if you said that, but maybe I'll give you that one. Maybe you said that.
All right.
So.
And so we remember a little bit differently what happened. This was probably Sunday. So I went to this event, and I was attracted to this person and was interested and generally just kind of impressed by her and the way that she held this event, and we were working together on it. And so I talked to Kari Lynn about it, and my recollection was I said something like, "I think she's cute," and then when I was going on to talk about inviting her to our retreat, I said I wanted to learn from something that had happened earlier, where there had been a woman that I'd been attracted to who I'd invited to our retreat, but it had been in this sort of muddy way where I had a dual purpose, let's say. I wanted her to come to the retreat, sure, but I also wanted to connect with her, and I wanted to flirt with her, and I wanted to express attraction to her. And so in this case, somewhat similar circumstance, but Kari Lynn had been very upset the previous time that I invited this person to the retreat and started this whole conversation with her without telling Kari Lynn in advance that I was interested, or so I thought. And so this time I said, I think this person's cute. I want to invite her to the retreat, and I just want to be perfectly transparent that there is some interest or attraction there. And then, as I recall, you said, "Thank you," just acknowledging that.
Mm-hmm.
So then I forget what it was.
A
few days later, I sent her this flirty text and basically said, I really liked meeting you. I thought you were very pretty. I thought you handled the event really well. Sent her this flirty text. And then the next day or so, while we were driving somewhere, I told Kari Lynn about this text I'd sent. What was your reaction?
I was so mad. I was really mad. I was really, it felt like the word I think that came up was a betrayal. I had a reaction. I had a big reaction to that. And I had that reaction for, about 15 minutes or so before we finally got to what was happening. Mm-hmm. But the reason we're making this video is because we actually want to tell you guys what we figured out in that. And what we figured out, what did you figure out? Because I was still really upset about this, so it was difficult for me. But
we are playing in the realm of open relationship, in case that's not clear. It's technically okay for me to flirt with people and sleep with people, but we recognize that this is a difficult place to navigate for us. And so what we do is, either of us gets into a state of what we call red, everything stops. So either of us can call red at any point and just say, this, whatever's happening, we've got to not just slow down, but we just have to stop. And then we can wait and cool down and come back to it and see what can be done. What I realized was that by not telling Kari Lynn in advance that I was intending to make this approach to this woman, I wasn't giving her the opportunity to call red. I was sort of asking forgiveness rather than permission in a sense. And so what I've learned going forward, and this again it's a very much a stepwise process where I screw it up, we figure out how I screwed it up, I try it again, and I think I've got it better. We figure out how I still screwed it up, and I'm sure this won't be the last round of this. But my intention going forward then is, if I'm going to reach out to someone, it's not enough to just say I have an attraction. I'm going to say, and I intend to do this about it. And, what do you think about that? And I'll get yes, no, green, yellow, red. And if it's red, I won't send the text at all. We'll just stay in that place until either it becomes yellow, or probably yellow, or I just don't. If it never does, if it's something that's not going to work, then we just don't go there. So what do you learn?
Well, I want to ask you, how is that for you to have? Because the way you describe it, I imagine some people are sitting here going, "Oh my God, she has so much control over
Every
him."
single thing has to right, got it.
And so, I want to hear from, because my sense is that you don't, you don't feel like it's necessarily a control from me, but why are you doing it this way, or how is it for you?
Yeah, so there's a part of me. There's a young. I don't know, angry part of me that certainly says I should be able to do this. We have an open relationship. I should be able to flirt with women without checking in with her first. And so that part sometimes talks. Right now, that's not a super loud voice for me. There is the thing between us, which we sometimes call the third. And we're doing some coaching right now. We're being coached, and in our recent session, there was some talk of the third, and this talk of the things I can do to serve the third. I don't feel, especially at this point, when we're just taking these little steps into seeing how can this kind of a relationship work for us, I don't feel it as a hardship to go really slow. Now, if for all time this were the way that it worked, where every time I was ready to wink at some woman, I had to text and say, "There's someone across. I'd like to wink. Is that okay?" There definitely comes a time where I do want more freedom than this provides. But for now, because I don't know exactly how it's going to flow and how she's going to feel about these things, because I can't predict yet how Kari Lynn's reaction will be to something. This is where we just slow it down as much as we need to, and that means, for now, checking in with every step, and maybe forever. If every connection I make has to go in small steps, that's not. I've got a lot of time. I'm good. We can take everything slow, and I imagine that we won't always be in this place.
I imagine that too. I'd like to think that.
You want to say anything else here before we wrap it up?
No, I just, thank you for that, for staying with that. This is our process, and I appreciate that.
Thank you. And that's our video.
Bye.